This time we're taking a look at the Mangoal OEM style dashcam, which promises to make installing a dashcam a lot easier. And that is because typically hardwiring a dashcam requires running the power cable and hiding it into the trim of the vehicle and then down this A-pillar, hiding it all the way down, continuing towards the fuse box of the vehicle, and then finding within the fuse box where to connect each wire. So what they done with this dashcam, they designed it so it can pull power directly from this area of the vehicle, typically the mirror area of the car, and that eliminates having to run the power cable all the way down to the fuse box and messing around with all of that. But also because of the way it's designed, it almost has sort of a stealthy look, kind of matching the OEM style of the vehicle. And on this video, I'm gonna show you how it works as well as walk you through its features. As always, I'd like to remind you that I place a link to this dashcam in the description down below in case you want to check it out further or acquire one for yourself. And the first thing that I want to show you is how this looks like. As you can see, this is the dash cam and this is the power cable for it. That's all there is to it. Now, one thing that's important to know is that the shape of this is gonna vary. Some vehicles have a smaller enclosure and some vehicles have a larger enclosure. Again, they designed it so it kind of fits the look of your interior of the vehicle. Now, let me show you how this is installed. Now, I've already disconnected the vehicle's battery, and I always do that for safety before I start messing with the vehicle. And these enclosures are normally either a single part or two-part deal. Notice that this is a two-part deal. I first pull the top and then I pull on the bottom, and that gives me access to where I need to get power. And the other way I remove the enclosure is just by gently sliding it down, and that releases it. Then I can separate any other parts from it, and then I can pull this off. And following the Mangoal instructions, this is the connector that I'm gonna unplug. And notice that all I did, I just pushed on that little tab and that disconnected it. And here is the power cable coming from the dashcam, which we saw earlier. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna plug it into here. And now this side is gonna go back into this place right here. And what that does, that allows the dashcam to get power from here, but also allows the vehicle to still get power from there. And after making the power connection, I can go ahead and close this up. I'm gonna line this up again back where I pulled it from, slide up to lock it in place. There we go. And now I can take any of the cable that is visible, kind of tuck it in there, and then I can put the top part back into its location. There we go. And let's go ahead and start the vehicle. And you can hear that dashcam came on. There's a couple of LED indicators in the bottom showing us the status.
Start recording.
And a voice prompt letting us know that it is recording. And I also want to show you what it looks like from the driver's seat. Just such a clean installation, and there is no dashcam up here obstructing the view. There was no wires that I had to tuck in. Everything is centralized inside of here, right in the middle, giving us a good view of the road. Moving over to the app, it's called Skycam, and it connects to the dashcam via Wi-Fi and shows us a live view coming from it. And with this icon right here, you can also enlarge it if you want to see it in a full screen. And also tapping on the screen brings us icon on both sides. This icon right here allows us to take a picture. And this icon right here that looks like a microphone disables the microphone. Essentially, if you only wanted to record video, you can turn off the microphone. I'm gonna go ahead and re-enable the microphone. And then this icon right here allows you to stop the current video recording. Not sure why you would wanna do that, but you could potentially stop the video recording with that. And you can see on here the recording indicator, letting you know what the status is. But the important part is the camera file icon. And this is gonna give us access to the videos that are on the dashcam, and they've been sorted out into different folders. You got loop folder, which is potentially just driving around, maybe nothing exciting happened there. Snapshot is pictures, and the next folder is for videos that were flagged by the dashcam as important, likely videos of a car crash, and then videos that happened during parking mode. And let's go ahead and play back a video. I'm gonna go ahead and tap on this guy right here, and the video is streaming from the dashcam to our phone. So it's coming from the dashcam, it's not on the phone. And you can go ahead and tap on that icon, and you can see that again in a larger view. Tapping this icon returns us back to this view. I'm gonna go ahead and pause that. Now, if you wanted to save a copy of this video into your phone, you could do that with the download icon, or if you just wanted a picture, you could take a screenshot of it, and you can also delete it using the delete icon. And we also have these two physical buttons on the bottom. This guy right here takes a picture, and this one right here is the power button that can be used to turn off both the Wi-Fi or the dash cam. Memory card bay is located on the left hand side, and they included a 128 gigabyte memory card, but this supports up to 256 gigabytes of memory. And I really think most people are gonna be satisfied with that single camera recording, potentially where most of the accidents are gonna happen in front of you, and especially because of the simple installation process. However, for those of you that are thinking about a dual channel dash cam, that way you can record not only the front of the vehicle but also the rear, Mangoal does offer the second channel for it, this optional rear camera. Let me show you a closer look. And the rear camera is meant to be installed on the inside of the vehicle. I can peel this back and then attach it to the car. Also notice that the view is adjustable, and more importantly, if I turn this in this orientation, now I can mount the camera against a vertical surface like the rear window on a pickup truck. And with that optional rear camera, we can now use this icon to switch between the rear view and the front view. And also again, we have that icon to maximize the view, and tapping on the screen using this icon one more time is gonna switch the view to the rear. And when playing back videos, you'll notice that there's an F indicating that that's the front camera, and a B indicating that that is the back camera, and everything else works just like before. You can play them back, download them, or delete them. Well, let's go ahead and move over to the camera settings using the gear icon. And you can choose to disable audio recording in case you only wanted video. Adjust the speaker volume if you wanted to turn down the volume or turn off the volume altogether, and that is as far as the sound that comes from the dashcam. And then you can also adjust the resolution for anytime you take a photo, and also the video resolution. We get three choices: 4K, 2K, or full high definition. Now, why would you want to lower the resolution? If you wanted to fit more onto your memory card. The G sensor is also adjustable. Now, this is what allows the dashcam to sense when you get into a car crash, and you can select on here how sensitive you want that sensor to be, either low, medium, or high. Also notice that there are two options for parking mode: collision detection and time-lapse protection. On collision detection, if I turn this on, now the dashcam is gonna wake up if somebody impacts the vehicle when the car is under park mode. And if I enable time lapse, the dashcam is gonna stay on when the vehicle is on park mode, and it's gonna create a time lapse of the time that I was parked. And you can select on here where you want that time lapse to be: 12 hours, 24 hours, or up to 48 hours. But now let's take a look at some driving video, including the audio test, to see how well this thing actually performs. And this is an audio test of the Mangoal OEM style dashcam, and I am sitting on the driver's side seat. And this is an audio test of the Mangoal OEM style dashcam, and I'm standing outside the driver's side door. For the front camera, Mangoal says that they're using the Sony Starvis IMX335 image sensor, and the front is recorded at 30 frames per second and has a lens degree of 150. A bigger lens degree gives you a more wide angle view at the expense of some details, since things appear farther, and a smaller lens degrees gives you a more narrow view, but this has the advantage of the increased details since things appear closer to the camera. The average lens degree on dashcams is 140 degrees, this one again is 150. For the rear camera, Mangoal says that they use the Galaxy Core Image GC2093 image sensor. Rear is also recorded at 30 frames per second, and the recording format for both front and the rear is TS files. Now let's cover a couple of important details. First off, park monitoring. If you want to enable the parking mode function, then you're going to want to use one or two options. Either the optional hardwired kit or the optional OBD2 power cable. OBD power cables are a lot easier in my opinion to connect than a hardwired kit because they literally just plug in into the OBD2 port of your vehicle and you're off to the races. I have already made a video showing how those adapters work. If you guys want to check that video out, I'll put a link to it in the description down below. And there's another add-on available for these dash cams. Now, not all of them support it, but on the ones that do, this can also be upgraded with an optional GPS antenna, and adding that guy can give you that optional GPS information if you wanted to capture that. Now, some people don't want to have that information captured in the video, so it kind of makes sense that they don't include the GPS antenna on there. See, some people, like I said, for privacy purposes, prefer not to have that. But if you want to upgrade this in the future, if your particular model supports it, you definitely can. The other interesting thing I noticed is regarding the rear camera. Now, I know some of you may only use the front camera, but if you want to use the rear camera, you want to make sure that you order that model, the one that includes both the front and the rear up front. Meaning, typically, if you order only the front camera and later on you want to add the rear camera, it's normally not possible. That has to be done at the very beginning when the model is ordered. Now, the other thing I want to point out is regarding the installation. What they've done, and I think is pretty smart, is they have created tutorial videos specific to your vehicle, and they are directly on the app. You literally scroll to the make and model of your vehicle, you find it, and then you can see the actual tutorial on how that dash cam is mounted. I am sure it had to be a tremendous effort to create a video specific to every single vehicle, so it is definitely a cool feature to have included on the app. So I'll put a link in the description down below to the Mangoal dash cam, including a link to the optional hardwire kit, the optional OBD2 power cable, and the GPS module in case you guys need any of those. And if you guys have any other questions regarding this, please put that in the comments down below. If you found any part of this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button to support the channel and stay tuned as I have a lot more dashcam reviews coming up. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.